Oops, almost started talking there with my microphone off. How embarrassing would that be if I'm on mute, like a Zoom call or something? Well, hey everybody, welcome in. Wasn't that a great session from the Snapchat Snap team? How many of you were there for that session? I saw some folks in the chat. Syra, thanks for the amazing session. Lots of thumbs up. I'm not sure who that is there in that sticker, but it's a great emoji. Hey there. Yo, how's it going? Welcome, everybody. My name is Steven, as you can tell from my label here. And I'm here to teach you all a little bit about Copilot, GitHub Copilot. We're going to learn together. Maybe we'll discover some new things together. But yeah, how cool is that, huh? Oh, wow, some familiar faces, Quackers and Cheese. Hey. Yeah, I know I haven't been on the streaming circuit for a little while. I've been working on some other exciting programs that we have at Major League Hacking. I don't know if any of you have heard, but we have this really neat program called Hack Days. And let me just quickly give a plug for that because I think it's such a cool new opportunity, and we're always looking for people who are interested. But that's kind of why I've been a little bit MIA lately, because yeah, if you're interested, if you have a club at your school, or even just a community in your local neighborhood or town that is a hacker community and likes to build stuff, definitely check it out. But yeah, let's go ahead and get started with what we have in store today. So I'm going to present my screen here, and hopefully you all can see. Let me just, oh, I forgot that I can actually add slides through Google, so I think I might do that instead. Let me just quickly get that. But in the meantime, what's people's favorite session that they've seen so far from Hack Days? Does anybody have any streamers to shout out or any sessions to shout out? I'd love to hear about them. Snap One says, that's awesome. Yeah, I agree. I thought they were great presenters. I was watching some of the stream while I was preparing for our stream, and I thought that was really neat. Okay, so I have our presentation up and ready for us. Basically, we're going to talk a little bit about GitHub Copilot, hacking with GitHub Copilot. You can see our friend there is ready to take off with us, our fifth teammate. And before we do that, I want to have you all scan this code now to check in and receive a fast track, first of all, to the GitHub Student Developer Pack access, and an exclusive MLH GitHub Copilot sticker. These are some great things you can receive from this check-in. And checking in is really important, especially for our Global Hack Week program, because the more you check in, the more points you get for the month, and that's really a great thing. It also lets us know what people are interested in, right? If you're interested in, oh, the link is in the QR code there, Demon King. Let me send you it in the chat as well, so you can copy and paste. There it is. Yeah, so definitely log in through that. It also lets us know, what folks are interested in, and get kind of a sense of that, right? So let's go ahead and begin. Oh, can my friend join now? Absolutely. Yeah, your friend can join whenever they want for this workshop. It's a pretty easy one to pop into. Let me actually first show you all, before we get started too far down road, I'm just going to show you all what it looks like to go to the GitHub Student Developer Pack, because that's kind of an important thing. Okay, so all I did was, you can see, all I did was Google GitHub Student Developer Pack. I'm going to make this a little bigger because it's really tiny. Hopefully that makes it a little bit bigger for you all. And you just want to kind of click on this first link that you see. Let's have a click. And it'll say, you know, sign up for Student Developer Pack. You probably need to sign in here, or you can just click directly here. Let's have a look. It says I already have my benefits. So my benefits are available already. But if you don't have yours, let me just put in the chat a few. Yes, the link is the registration or not. So have a look at that. And then how do I upload a picture of my setup? I'm not getting any form to submit the link. I'm not sure quite what that might refer to, Sparkly. Maybe you're referring to the last session, or if you're having trouble with the event link, let me know, because I can resend that in the chat. But yeah, let me just write in the chat a few really important things for getting your Student Developer Pack. So number one is that you make sure to use your student email. And if it should be a .edu, that's really important. And that will make sure that they don't accidentally flag you as a personal email. Then the second thing for you to do is make sure that you have multi-factor authentication enabled on your GitHub account. Okay, so that's going to be really important to streamline the process. Okay, those are the key things to make it go smooth so that you can get your developer pack. And once you get your developer pack, you can actually redeem Copilot via this link. You'll see it there. And get your Copilot student for free. All right. And so when I click on this Access GitHub Copilot, it'll tell me a little bit about this product. Okay. Oh, let's see. I use a personal GitHub mail for GitHub, and my university email doesn't have edu. Okay, so in that case, it might take you a little bit longer to get your student developer pack. You might have to upload transcripts. It might take a few days. So I'm going to show you a workaround. But just let me go through this real quick. Actually, let's show the workaround right now. I'm going to send it in the chat, because this is something that impacts a lot of people, not just you, maybe probably. Most of the time, you know, if you see something in the chat, a question or a concern, you're not the only one who's having that problem. Okay, it's not quite working, but basically Microsoft offers a free trials for its premium Copilot service, okay? So if you don't have any of these college emails, first of all, you can get the free version by getting the student developer pack. It just might take you a minute to get it. So go ahead and try it anyway. Try to get those transcripts uploaded from your school, and they should be able to get it. But in the case that you're not able to do it, Microsoft offers free trials for its premium Copilot service, okay? So just get a free trial for 30 days. You might need a credit card of some kind or a debit card, but you can always cancel that for free. And then you'll be able to follow along with what we have. All right, and I suspect you may also be able to use the free tier Copilot, but I'm not 100% sure about that. Okay, let's continue. So once you have Copilot, I'm just going to show you some really cool things that I really think are important to know. So first of all, you get premium requests with Copilot, and you can get, I think it's on the order of a few hundred requests, and they're for premium set models like Opus, GPT, the latest version 5. I'm not sure exactly which version it is, but You can also get all of these other neat things that I'm not going to go into too much. One thing I am going to look into is this. So MCP servers in Copilot. We'll pause and look at that. Anybody here have any idea about what MCP stands for? And if you get this right in the chat, I'll give you a shout out. Okay, so give it to me straight here. What's MCP stand for? Let's see. Okay, a few people here, but I think Tutil was the first. Model Context Protocol, that's right. And so we're going to be working with Model Context Protocol today. Maybe some of you have heard of this, but I bet that most of you have not actually worked with an MCP server, so that's going to be a new thing for us. And I'm also going to send a link in the chat. Oh, well, yes, a bridge between AI and APIs is a great way to describe that. So thanks for that explanation in the chat. There you go. All right, so a couple people have been asking about challenges. You're going to want to go to this website here, ghw.mlh.io for challenges. And I'm not 100% sure which challenge is associated with this. It seems like there's one you can do called use GitHub Copilot to build an application. So this could be a great one to try when you are more comfortable with Copilot. And yeah, I just sent the challenge link, but I'll send this one specifically, which seems like a great fit for Copilot. But yeah, this should be a piece of cake once we have Copilot set up. All right. And it seems like a few people are saying they're having trouble uploading a picture of their setup. So if you're having trouble uploading a picture of your setup, I recommend that you go to Ask GHW in the Discord. That's going to be the resource for you if you're having trouble and you need a question answered by our team. I believe you can set up support tickets there, and you can also get questions answered. So for things like that, if you have a question that's unrelated to the direct content of the workshop and it's more related to the mechanics of Global Hack Week, definitely give it a try. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and look at, go back to this. I'm actually going to show you a neat resource here. That is where we will start. And it's going to be on Ryan Swift's GitHub. Okay, so there's an amazing repository here. And it's called the GitHub README template. And you'll see there's not much here. It's just a really simple README. But what's neat about this is there is this special JSON object here that gives us an MCP server, okay, that we can use with our My Major League Hacking website. And that's going to be really great for us to play with. We're going to learn how to install a custom MCP server. All right. So yeah, we'll go ahead and do that today. Let's see here. All right, and so what you're going to want to do is click on this button here that says use this template, okay? And you're going to want to click create a new repository. Yeah, thanks Quackers and Cheese for submitting a bug report. It looks like that issue is going to get handled. I was just monitoring that a little bit to see if anything came through, but it will, our team can take care of that. All right, so we're just going to create a repository here. And by the way, I'm going to use my own name here. All right. So when you use your own username to create this repository, it's what they call a special repository that you can use to add a README to your GitHub profile. All right. So that's really good for you to make a README. Now, I already have one, of course, so I'm not going to actually go ahead and create this repo, but you're going to do that with your username. And then once you create it, let me show you what it looks like. It'll look like this right here. Okay. And so I've edited my README a little bit here, but maybe I'll just put it back to normal. I'll put it back to kind of a blank page here. And so now when you go to my GitHub, it's showing blank. That's not good. So we're gonna make our own here. But first, we need to get a little bit familiar with what is GitHub Copilot. So I'm going to take you all through a little bit more of these slides. Hopefully by now you've checked in, you've gotten either on the process to getting Student Developer Pack, or you've actually gotten it. But really learning to use AI throughout your development flow is now an essential skill. Okay, so you're going to need to know this in the future, because it's becoming a core part of development. And I'm Steven. Oh my God, that's so embarrassing. I forgot to put my name there. But I'm your name. But I've been a coach at Major League Hacking since 2018, and I live here in sunny California. Okay. So that's just a little bit about me. And Major League Hackings, by the way, are an amazing place to learn AI skills. You can learn about how the technology changes daily. And it's a place where everyone is here to learn from each other. So it's perfect for the testing environment, for testing new tech with your friends. So highly recommend it for your hackathons. And and I'm just going to ask in the chat, put a hand up, raise your hand if you've used GitHub Copilot in the past. That'll give us a good sense of whether it's. I'm actually going to change my name. I'm going to change my name to your name. All right, your name. Okay. Thanks, Koga. That's very deserved. But awesome. Okay, so a few people using Copilot, but it's really a fully agentic AI pair programmer at this point. It can help you by using tools, using MCP, using CLI. And back in 2014, when this coding tool came out, it was tab completions only. So you would get maybe 1 tab or 2 tab notifications at a time, and you could pick between a couple different outputs. But it was unreliable, and it wasn't connected and fully contextualized. So it would make a little piece of code, and that would be inconsistent with another one, and it was just kind of not as useful. But now with the GitHub Copilot of today, it's fully agentic. So it can run commands, it can do all kinds of things without your input. It gives much higher quality code, and it has MCP server access, which is something we're going to talk about today. So today we're going to learn by doing. I think I already took you through creating the template README for your GitHub profile, but then we're going to set up an MCP server for our live personalized data. We're going to use Copilot to customize our profiles, okay? So that's what we're going to do. And I'm going to take you next into GitHub, okay? So let me share my screen and show you GitHub. Okay, so here's Visual Studio Code. I hope you all are familiar with Visual Studio Code. Maybe I'll just leave a link to it in the chat so that anyone who doesn't have this program can download that. So I'm just going to put that in. But this is really a great resource for what they call an IDE, developer environment, interactive development environment. So what it means is that you can code in here, but you can do it in a way that's streamlined, okay? So let's start. Oh, I'm not going to do that quite yet. Let's start with extensions, okay? And you can tell I have a lot of extensions. This is one of the greatest things about Copilot, is that you can put all these great extensions in. I'm actually going to uninstall all these MCPs that I have here because, yeah, we don't actually want these here for now because we're going to reinstall them. Okay, no MCP servers, great. But what we are going to look for is Copilot, okay? And so you're going to search the marketplace for Copilot extension. And you're going to come across a couple of different things here, but what you want is not necessarily the first thing that pops up, but just, actually, I guess it is the first thing that pops up, but you want to download the thing that has the most downloads, okay? So this has 70 million downloads, so you're going to click install, all right? And so now when you have it installed, you're going to see on the right here this little Copilot friend. And when you go into here, there's a couple of different products, I guess, that I have installed, but I should be able to just open up a new Copilot session. It's a lot of different stuff, I guess. Okay. I guess this is for the Copilot CLI. I didn't really want the CLI, but I kind of want just the extension. Let's see if we can get it to pop up. Anybody know what I'm doing wrong here? I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong now. In a chat. I think now I have it right. I think this is Copilot here. So now I think we're good. So I guess if you open up a Copilot chat on the right-hand side, that's kind of how it'll work for you. And you can see that it gives you a few of these different models. A little bit strange that it's not letting me, it's not realizing that I have Pro here, but I guess it's okay for now. It shouldn't really matter. So remember we did that whole thing where we got the template off of the website. We're going to actually go ahead and make a copy of that on our local machine. But before we do, we need to get that MCP server, the GitHub MCP server, loaded. And what we'll do is, I wonder if this will work here. No. We'll actually go to the MCP server registry, which is called github.com/MCP. I'll put that in the chat for all of you. And the first place we'll go here is we're going to try and get that, that GitHub MCP. So let me share that with all of you. Okay, here it is. So, oh, I guess that's why. With the student developer, we can't use these. Yeah, but it's okay for this case because we won't need them. But thanks for sharing that. I was wondering why that was having a problem for me. Okay, so when you go to this resource, this github.com/MCP resource, you should be able to see that there are many model context protocol servers here. But one we'll use is called GitHub. And what this is useful for is connecting AI tools directly to GitHub's platform, okay? So you'll click Install in VS Code. And this will lead us to open it in VS Code. So let me get that up and running for all of you to see. And you'll see now that we have the GitHub MCP server here, and we can click install. Okay. And so now it's been installed, and it's saying I want to authenticate to GitHub. So you're going to have to sign in to your GitHub. That's going to be really important here, because otherwise, how does it know, about your information? So I'm going to do that. Okay. And it seems like it's installed now. So let me, I think I have to add it here. No, I think it's already there. So you'll see there's the MCP server here now. So now let me see. Let's just give a test message here, make sure that it's working. Okay, it looks like it's working. So can you test using my GitHub MCP server to tell me if you can see my S repo? Okay, so I'm just going to ask it if it can see my repository right now. I think it should be able to. Let's see. Okay, so it's thinking, looking through some skills, and hopefully it will come up with my MCP server. Okay, so it came up with the server. That's great. And it says it can see the account to check if the repo is there. And it says, I can see the repo, it can see the public branch, it's last updated April 10, okay? So I'm gonna ask it, please make a local copy of this in VS Code. I wonder if it will actually open it in VS Code for me. We'll see. So you can see, and we'll look at this output here. So it was able to use this structured information to get some output from the server. I'm not exactly sure why it shows this, but you can see in future calls here, it looks like it was able to search properly. Okay, so in this one, it actually worked successfully. So it asked to look at my GitHub, and it found information. So now it is trying to find the repository for me, clone it in. And by the way, I can click always allow certain commands if I want to allow all the certain commands. I think you can actually do autopilot to just totally approve all commands. That's kind of a new thing. Oops, I think I just closed out of the window that it created. Oh boy. Please open it again. Let's see if that works. Okay. Oh, awesome. Okay, it worked now. All right, let me share the new version with you all so you can see it. Okay. Oh, a question here. Will the always allow will put more credit use? That's a good question. I think you're right about that because when it uses auto use, I think you may end up using some more tools and keeping it going longer, keeping a single run going longer. So I do think you tend to use more tokens, but that's not entirely. I guess you can use the same amount of tokens, but yeah, that's a good question. The anti-gravity does it. Interesting. Okay, well, so let's go ahead and look at this. And one cool thing I'll show you about in GitHub, in VS Code rather, is that if you click on this little mysterious magnifying glass, it will actually render the markdown for you. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to ask it to, let me see if I can give it a good prompt here. I'm just going to say, please start filling out my README based on my GitHub profile. I'm going to say my public GitHub profile because I do have a few private projects that I guess I don't really want to put those in my public profile. But let's see what it does. And also there's this really cool thing that you can add, and I'll tell you about it once we get this out of here. It's called shields.io. So I'm going to put the prompt in here. This is a really good prompt to try. Use shields.io or similar service for badges. And what this is going to do is actually make those cool badges that you see on people's repositories or on their READMEs. So we'll try that afterwards once, hopefully this works, and then we can shoot for the stars a little bit. All right, while this is running, I'm going to look into this VS Code here. So, remember I told you that there's this .vs Code file that we copied over from our repository. Well, it has this thing called rename me mcp.json. And you see there's several fields here. This server is the MCP server for my MLH. Okay, so if you use this, it will give personal data about you from your MyMLH account. And that might have some things like your school, where you go to school, your major. And so I'm going to actually uncomment this by changing the name from rename me to mcp.json. Okay? And look at that. Everything got totally colored in, and it says add server on the bottom. So I'm going to click add server. And I believe that we want to choose this, although I've never gotten this before. I've done this several times, but let me just show. I'm just going to type in the URL here because I suspect that I need to do this, but I have not, to be clear, I have not seen this before. Okay. I have no idea what just happened, but let's hope for the best, I guess. I suspect this will work. I'm not sure that I need both of these, but I guess I just kind of made a mistake. But what does start do here? Oh, start is what you want. Okay, so you push that start button, you get allow, and then it will send you to sign into your MyMLH account. Okay, so this just changed just a little bit since the last time I did this. But I'm actually signing into my MyMLH account now while we wait. So you should too. All right, so if anyone had any trouble with that custom MCP server stuff, let me know. I want to know. I don't think don't worry about doing the add server button. That's not correct. Okay, so I'm giving some information. I'm gonna authorize it to access my account. And I'm just putting in my my employment information because actually I didn't realize you can put your employment information into MyMLH. So I just did that so that it would have more information to get from me. I'm going to give it a ton of information. But I also don't want to leak any information on my live stream. That's the one problem with being a live streamer is when you do it, you never know if they'll accidentally leak some information. Although, honestly, there's nothing crazy that I could maybe just like leak my phone number. Everybody calls me all the time. Okay, so it looks like it's had a chance to look through my GitHub profile. It came up with some information, and I'm going to give it that next prompt, that shields.io prompt. Okay, so that's the next thing. But before we move on, I'm actually going to give a little preview here. Remember, I can click this mystery magnifying glass and get a preview. Okay, that's a little strange. I think it should, oh, I think maybe I need to click this like refresh button or something. Refresh preview. Okay, there we go. Refresh preview worked. Okay, so it came up with some cool stuff. It put some of my awesome repositories on here, which is great. Some of my tutorials, my Twitter. I don't really use my Twitter, but yeah. Okay, and then here's some notes. Okay, so it's putting on my shields.io stuff, and remember, this is really a cool thing to try. So if you have seen people do this on their computers, it's totally worth it to do it on yours, because it just makes your GitHub README look a little bit nicer, you know. And then let me try now to invoke the MyMLH. So I'm going to put a prompt here. Say add some information from my MyMLH profile by invoking the MyMLH MCP. I like to sometimes tell it specifically to invoke the MCP, and I'm not sure. I think that helps it a little bit to find the tool that it wants. And if I click enter here, it's actually going to queue this up. Okay, so it's going to queue that up for us so that once this badge process is done, it will automatically move on to the MyMLH MCP server. And you can already see from the preview that it's given me a nickname, Steve Cropper, but it's also given me a bunch of badges that are pretty cool. They're right. I am also a student at UCLA, at least for the next couple months. I'm actually graduating soon, but I'm a hackathon coach. I have all these stars. I didn't even know I had this many stars. That's kind of, I feel like that might be a hallucination. But yeah, so it's starting to get some stuff here. Oh, thanks, Quackers and Cheese. It's a long time coming. So okay, let's keep going with this. So it's seeing if it's available in this session, the MyMLH MCP. I hope it is. I hope it doesn't need to be refreshed. It looks like it called some tools, which is good. That's good news. Good karma. Oh boy. It's saying I don't see any exposed resources. I'm checking your local MCP config to see whether the server is configured but not connected. Okay. The thing is, it might need to be refreshed. Sometimes these, sometimes the Visual Studio Code instance needs to be refreshed. I also might want to put that. I also might want to put that MCP server back together. Oh, good question here. I have a question. Are you using GitHub code spaces with VS Code, or are you using the repo locally? I'm using the repo locally. I actually just asked the GitHub MCP to just clone it locally and open it up for me, and it worked. So I did that back here. I'll show you where I did that. Oh, actually, I guess it was a while ago. I thought it was in here, but yes, it's back in the video. You'll see. I just said clone my Cropper S repo locally and open it up for me. So that's what you can do too. But this should all, I think, work with code spaces. Not 100% sure, but I mean, it says it's running. So let's actually delete this thing here, which honestly, I don't think I should have done this part. I think that was a mistake. Put it back how it was, and I'm just going to restart this. Okay. So I restarted the MCP server. So it's actually running locally. So let's just see if I can like give it this information and see if it figures this out. How are you all doing? Did any of you get either one of these MCPs open, up and running, get your READMEs full of stuff? It's a pretty fun thing to do, and it's not the kind of thing that you're usually like, oh, I'm too busy to do this. But then if you set aside like a few minutes to do it, you actually can get some cool results. Oh, I think it's because I ended up using, I think I got into Codex somehow. Hmm. Oh my God, there's so many things here. Well, we're going to have to maybe table this a little bit because it doesn't seem like this MyMLH resource is working too well. I don't know how I got into this, but I just wanted to be in chat, and I was for a while. I don't know how I got into Codex, but yeah, this is okay. I was in here, so let's see if it'll go again. So please connect to my MLH profile and add some more details. Okay, let's see if it works this time. I have no idea how I got into Codex somehow. Maybe when I was flip-flopping between things. It's hard too, because now there's so many of these different products. Okay, here we go. Moment of truth, moment of truth. All right, return current token access details, add session. Okay, now it's working. That's great. Just had a bit of a hiccup there. Let's see. Suddenly hopeful again. Okay, look at this. So it says, which details would you like? I'm gonna put in my work experience, my education details. By the way, I lied about my education details in my profile. I just wrote Harvard because that was the default university, or like the one that I could think of or something. Actually, let's see, California, United States. Yeah. Time zone is interesting. I'm not going to update that. Oh, and I'll say it actually should say Grinnell College, which is a school in Iowa. What LLM do you personally use? I use a couple different kinds. The one that I mostly use is Opus and Sonnet. I love to use the Claude models because the Claude models, what I've noticed is sometimes they will push back on you a little bit more than the other models. A lot of the other models, um, they will sometimes lie a little bit or not be totally honest. So I like to use Claude for that reason. If you tell it, hey, just give me the honest answer, I think it's sometimes is more truthful. Um, but that's just my personal opinion. I'm starting to think a lot more about the open source, open weight models like GLM and DeepSeek. I think they're getting really good and they're super cheap, and I want to build some projects with them. I'm working on a project to automate reviews, document reviews. And I think that a lot of stuff like that, where you just are using LLMs for repeated workflows and stuff, these open weight models are going to be so much better because they have lower cost. For personal computing, personal programming, I love to use the Claude models. Hope that answers your question, Light Warrior. What models do you like to use? I'm going to turn it back and ask you. I'm curious. Anybody in the community can tell me if they have one that they like. Okay, let's see. Hopefully things are getting better here. Um, okay. Okay, great. So it looks like it was able to find some stuff. So this is information from my MCP server. So major physics, right? I didn't tell it that. Coach at Major League Hacking. This was all in my MLH profile. Um, so yes, and it only has this server only just reads it. Um, so I'm going to tell it, please put this into my README profile. And hopefully it will do that. I wish I could, I've tried this before. Is this how I got into Codex randomly? I hope it doesn't put me into Codex randomly again. Okay. Okay, so Orion says Claude. Yeah, awesome. And Light Warrior says I use Gemini or Claude. Yes, yes. You've got to drain the student pack, drain your free resources. Okay, that's key. Um, Definitely drain your free resources while you can. Yeah, the cursor with the free student membership, totally. And for complex automation, well, so I would say Copilot is becoming more of a general use tool and becoming more of a tool for developing with automated agent workflows. I don't think Cursor's as focused on that. I think they're more focused on developer experience and AI assisted software developer, but they're both doing a lot of the same things. And one of the things that's cool about Cursor is they have their own model called Composer 2. Composer is a really good lightweight coding model that doesn't use that many tokens. So I highly recommend checking that out. If you have the Cursor free membership already, yes, Cursor 2. Yes, it's a great one. And Demon King says I also use Gemini or Claude. So we have a lot of experts in a lot of different languages here, which is so cool. Okay, our models. So now I'm going to preview again. Let's see. And this is great. It added my major here and some other stuff that was on I can't believe it didn't add my t-shirt size. You know, your t-shirt size. We also, if you have a MyMLH account, chances are we have your t-shirt size. So you never know when you might go to a hackathon or receive some kind of swag, what you might get there. So I'll just leave that around. But yeah, this has been a really good time, everybody. I'm so glad we had an opportunity, and I would love to see your READMEs too if you want to. Let me actually, I'm going to push mine up to the, let's push this up to, hopefully it will do that offline, but definitely give me some ideas here. Can you put some guardrails so it doesn't leak your data? Sorry about that. You know, I'm not qualified, honestly, to know about that. I would recommend that if you are using Codex and you're worried about leaking data, don't give it access to those certain files. So, like, for instance, I know with Claude Cowork, I'll put that in the chat. This is a cool tool. Claude Cowork, you can actually restrict its access to a certain directory of your computer. You can also use cloud virtual server. These instances, they can be cheaper than you think. They can be, maybe like $10 a month to get a VPS. These are resources that are disconnected from your local computer. And so the models can live on them and be separate from the rest of your computer. I think you could also try to sandbox on your computer. So there's several ways you can sandbox. You can Dockerize. You can do all kinds of things to isolate the Codex CLI from the rest of your computer. It just requires a little bit more work. So that's why people commonly will just use it on their computer, but it's a very valid concern to be worried about leaking your data. So I think Light Warrior, you have a very good, especially if you're using YOLO mode, which I think everybody kind of uses YOLO mode now. Okay, while we are on the subject, let me actually show my repo now. I'm going to show you my computer. So we're going to navigate to my GitHub. And look at my profile. And you can see everything's updated. So I didn't even have to push this myself. I just had Copilot do this for me. Yeah, I do like building hands-on technical projects and sharing workshop-style material in public. I would have to maybe edit this a little bit, give it a little bit more of my voice. But I don't even know what some of these stickers are. Let's see. Oh, cool. Oh, I got a badge for contributing to 0 repositories. That's awesome. Well, okay. So anyway, everyone, this has been really great, but I'm gonna leave it here with you. But I'm gonna just put this up one more time. This QR code is to check into the event. It's a great way for you to receive swag, to receive points for the Global Hack Week, and also to get that access to Student Developer Pack. Definitely do that. Even if you have a Gmail or a non-edu address, you're still eligible, but it just won't come through instantly. So go through the process, go through the extra mile, because this Copilot plan is really going to give you some free LLM usage of some pretty great models. So definitely recommend it. Okay, anyone have any questions? I know we answered a lot of questions in the chat, but really, I'd love to hear any other questions you have. I know we're running actually a little bit over time. Let me just double check. I want to make sure that the next, I actually think the next stream might have gotten canceled. I'm not sure. Okay, it looks like it was canceled. But after that, we'll be with Charbel. I'll put that in the chat for all of you while I wait for any questions. Here's the next event, and this is at 6 p.m. EST. Okay, so this is at 6 p.m. EST with Charbel Train an Autonomous Vehicle with PyBullet. How cool is that? Okay, yeah, thanks, Orion. Thanks, everybody. It was great to see you, and happy hacking.